Hello, good morning, everybody. And thank you for being here this morning. It's a great day on this wonderful green street, isn't it? Isn't it? Okay, good. So let me start by recognizing some fantastic partners who have joined me today. And I'm going to introduce another great leader by the conclusion of our program. So first, let me start with our environmental partner who helps us keep the air and water clean in the District of Columbia and has been a great friend to our city. And he's from the feds, from the Environmental Protection Agency and the Region 3 Administrator, Sean Garvin. Give him a big round of applause. I also want to recognize the Chesapeake Bay Trust Executive Director, Dr. Jana Davis, who we'll hear from, who has a lot to say about this beautiful green street. Give Jana a round of applause. And Tommy Wells, who is here from our newly minted Department of Energy and the Environment. Thank you, Tommy. The Director of General Services, Interim Director, Jonathan Kane, and lots of members of the DGS team. Where's the DGS team? Please stand to be recognized, DGS. And our DDOT Director, Leif Dormcho, is here. Give Leif a big round of applause. So we're here today to cut the ribbon on a newly opened street in our city. This street has not been open since 1977. So today, almost 40 years later, I'm pleased to tell you that this part of O Street is back open in a big way. We're reopening this roadway. It will make people be able to have east-west travel more easy in this part of the District of Columbia, which is good for Truxton Circle right here in Ward 5, and it's a good thing for the District of Columbia. But this isn't just an ordinary street, and I'm going to invite everybody to walk through to take a look at the street. And with our help, with help from our friends at the EPA and the Chesapeake Bay Trust, we're opening this as a beautiful green street. You'll notice along this street, rain gardens and newly planted street trees. I understand that we have 33 of these rain gardens. We want you to recognize that green streets are livable. We have wide walkways for pedestrians all along both sides of the street. These green streets are also sustainable. With newly installed technology, this street will capture thousands of gallons of untreated stormwater. In fact, these gardens will capture the runoff on the street and nearby area. About 90% of the stormwater will be captured here. This project supports Sustainable DC, which has the goal of improving our waterways all across DC to ensure that they can be fishable, swimmable, recreatable, all of those things. And we're very pleased to be pushing hard towards those goals. So just a couple of days ago, Sean was with us for another exciting announcement atop our Reeves Center green roof, where I talked about answering President Obama's call to fight climate change. So we wanted to be very clear that we support green building in D.C. We promote energy and water efficiency, and that we want to also foster renewable energy choices. It's no mistake that we're standing next to the beautiful Dunbar Senior High School, which was delivered, I think, last year by the Department of General Services. And this building, thanks to all of our teams at DGS, is scoring the highest LEED Platinum certified school in the world. So Dunbar has solar panels, geothermal wells, rainwater cisterns, and efficient heating and cooling. So buildings like Dunbar and projects like O Street help this city continue to be a leader around the world in building green and investing in sustaining our environment. So we have a tremendous partnership. It takes all of us to make this happen, from DDOT and DGS and DOEE. Got that right? DOEE, and with our partners in the federal government. DC is only one of 7 municipalities and nonprofits to receive funding through the 2013 Chesapeake Bay Trust Green Streets, Green Jobs, and Green Towns program. So we thank you for that. And this street joins other green streets in DC, including on Georgia Avenue and Nannie Helen Burroughs. And we aren't stopping here. Next up is Minnesota Avenue and 15th Street in Northwest Minnesota Avenue as well. So rest assured, there will be more ribbon cuttings to come. But I want to now turn to Sean to say a few things about our partnership with the federal government.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. They say a sign of a good leader is somebody who sets out a path and course for others to follow. Sign of a great leader is recruiting outstanding people to go along that journey with them. And if you look at the directors that the mayor has assembled here in the District of Columbia, your leadership is very clear. So thank you very much for all that you do. It is not a surprise that I'm here for the second time in 3 days. There is a lot of amazing, outstanding stuff happening here in the District of Columbia, and part of it is that I'm proud that EPA can be a partner in that collaboration and that effort, and part of it is to really raise awareness not only in the District of Columbia but throughout Region 3 of the great things that you can do when you're partnering and collaborating together. And so I thank the District of Columbia, I thank the mayor, I thank the people of the district for all that they're doing. Jan and I stood here just a little over 2 years ago to actually announce that there were 7 grantees that were part of our Green Streets, Green Jobs, Green Towns grant program, and one of them was this O Street project. And the reason I really wanted to come back, and I think Jana as well, is because we can talk a lot kind of in academic kind of conversations about the things that we do, but it's really important to come back and see the fantastic work and what comes out of it. You know, we're standing on a street that we're talking about 5,700 square feet of bioretention. 33 cells that you see make up this. And this isn't just a clean water project. This truly is a quality of life project that's going on here in the district, that's going on for the people that live in this neighborhood, for the students that will be attending this high school. And this also isn't just a roadway, and this just isn't bioretention. This is also a classroom. The students from Dunbar School are going to be using this as an educational opportunity. The mayor mentioned all the great things and all the great attributes of Dunbar School, but they've also included an environmental curriculum, and this is going to be part of that classroom that they're going to be using to learn. And more importantly, the things that they learn here, they're taking back to their homes, and they're taking back to their community and educating others. So it is a fantastic kind of leveraging and partnership that goes on here. The mayor also mentioned our Clean Power Plan, the President's leadership in saying that we need to do more in controlling and cutting carbon emissions from our power plants, the largest source of greenhouse gases. And so last week we finalized our Clean Power Rule, which is really going to help do that. It's going to help protect the health of our families. It's going to help improve the economy. And has anybody been out on a hot day, maybe standing on asphalt, and feel like it's even hotter than what the temperature says? Has anybody had that experience? Well, when you look at these bioretention cells, we're standing here, what we're experiencing is the heat island effect. And one of the things to help counter that is by putting trees in, by having more open space, by having more green space. And so when we look at this project, we're looking at all of that. So it's really exciting for me to be here to see the hard work that is accomplished over these last 2 years. And this is really just an example that we will push forward to other communities and other cities to follow. So thank you very much for your leadership, Mayor, and thank you to the District of Columbia government and all of its citizens.
And I had the opportunity just a couple of weeks ago to be with our partners in Maryland and Virginia and Pennsylvania talking about our efforts, and the administrator as well, to talk about our collective efforts to save the Chesapeake Bay. I always like to remind everybody that we're definitely going to do our part, and we're really looking forward to our upstream partners doing their parts as well. And we couldn't be more delighted with our partnership with Dr. Jana Davis. And Jana, would you please join us at the podium?
Thank you so much, Mayor. You know, the Chesapeake Bay Trust is absolutely thrilled to be a partner on this project. We are so excited to see it in action. Only 2 years, and this is what we see. And, you know, there are a lot of groups in Maryland. How many folks from Maryland here? Okay, not so many, so I can say this. There are a lot of folks in Maryland who are leaders in environmental issues and in environmental projects, but my gosh, D.C. is such a model, and D.C. is going to be the model that everybody looks up to. A lot of fantastic work going on with our Maryland partners, our Pennsylvania partners, Delaware partners, Virginia partners, of course, but what a great model here. So we love this project for 3 reasons. More than 3 reasons, but 3 main reasons. The first is that this is going to be a model of how, as Sean mentioned, so the EPA and the Trust have been partnering on this Green Street, Green Job, Green Town initiative for several years now. And it really was the brainchild of Sean and his team. And what his thinking is, as we're doing these infrastructure projects, let's put green in at the same time. Why not? You're opening the street up. You're doing all these efforts to sort of get yourself ready. It's so much less expensive to do it while you're doing these other infrastructure projects. And what an incredible model this street is for that concept. And that's one of the reasons that the EPA and the Trust love this project. The second reason is it's not always so easy for agencies, even within a jurisdiction, to work together. And how amazing was it to see DGS and DDOT and Environment work together seamlessly, I should say, right? I'm sure it was seamless, to make sure the permitting and the street and the transportation and the green elements all work together. And so we would love to push this forward from that aspect as well. And finally, this project was done so quickly and so efficiently and so well, and so many people here worked on that project. Our direct link was Matt Robinson from DDOE at the time, so Matt is here somewhere. So what a fantastic project and a fantastic model for all of us to challenge each other to look up to. So thank you so much for letting the Chesapeake Bay Trust and EPA be partners in this project.
Thank you. So you heard it from the leaders of the Chesapeake Bay Trust, and we hear it repeatedly around the country that our city is really leading the charge and being an excellent example for other jurisdictions. So I want to also now turn to an exciting announcement for us in talking about our Department of General Services. You know what the Department of General Services does. We have one great example of one part of the department's job, and that's building public buildings. So they include our schools, our fire stations, our office buildings. They include build-outs and the like. But the Department of General Services is also responsible for making sure we have efficient energy to run these public buildings, which is what we talked about just a couple of days ago. Our Department of General Services is also responsible for maintaining these millions of dollars of construction projects or public buildings. Our Department of General Services is also responsible for going out and making sure that we have other space that we need, including leased space. So it is a huge multi-billion-dollar budget that touches on just about every aspect of our operation. And I'm very pleased that we have just really pulled together a great team. And I want to recognize that team now in Latrina Owens, who is the Chief of Staff at the Department of General Services, Jeff Bonavecchio, who is the Deputy for Construction, Forrest Hayes, who is the Deputy for Portfolio Management, and Spencer Davis, who is the Deputy for Facilities, and Mark Chambers, who is the Deputy for Sustainability. So that's a great team, right? And I want to also applaud the interim director, Jonathan Kane, who has managed successfully our transition in the Bowser administration, even before I was appointed, and making sure that the day after my election, we had a transition office that had office, phones, copier, computers, so that we could get to work for the residents of the District of Columbia. And I want to thank Jonathan Kane very much for his leadership. Please stand up, Jonathan. Please join me here. And I also want to announce, Kevin, would you join me, please? Kevin Donahue, who is the Deputy City Administrator, who is responsible for our operations cluster. And I want to congratulate Jonathan also on his new role at the department as Chief Operating Officer. Give Jonathan Kane another round of applause. And now I want to introduce a really fantastic public leader who is going to take the helm at the Department of General Services. We looked hard and long. We wanted to make sure we had the right combination of experience, leadership, and management skills, and we found that in Chris Weaver. Chris is a successful senior executive with extensive experience in both the public and private sector. Chris retired as a Rear Admiral from the United States Navy, where he put together the first organizational enterprise that directed and managed infrastructure projects in a single point of command across the globe. And since his retirement from the Navy, he has played a significant role in the creation of affordable, adaptable, and relevant ships and technology to meet the challenges of asymmetrical maritime threats. I don't think we have those here, but we have some serious issues. And Chris is a proven public administrator, and most importantly, a proven leader of people, which is very important to how my administration runs. And he gets results. So please join me in welcoming the next director of the Department of General Services, Admiral Chris Weaver.
Thank you, Mayor Bowser. That's a very warm welcome, and I much appreciate it. I want to join you in thanking Jonathan Kane, who I just met this morning, and I feel like I've known him for my entire Navy career, for his dedicated leadership. I'm excited to join the Bowser administration, and I look forward to putting my experience to work for the city and its people. The mayor has charged me with making use of our public facilities and making them operational and efficient and sustainable. Most importantly, they need to work for the people and the community of the District of Columbia. Today's reopening of O Street is a great example of what we can do together in the 3 C's of community, commitment, and collaboration. I look forward to working with Jonathan and the many, many good people at DGS as we fulfill this very important mission for the future. Thank you all, and I look forward very much to being part of the team.
So I will take a few questions on O Street and on our personnel announcement, and then I'll take a few questions and if there are general questions. Ms. Brazil?
I'd like to ask a question as well as Ms. Bowser. As you know, before the council went out on recess, we received a devastating report from the D.C. auditor regarding DGS and how we built and how much we spent to build our building. You've chosen Admiral Weaver, who comes to the position never having worked in a municipal government before. He spent 34 years in the Navy. To what extent is Mr. Weaver aware of the findings of the auditor's report? And to what extent is Mr. Weaver prepared to work in a municipal government such as the District of Columbia?
Sure, and thank you for that question. So the Admiral is very familiar with the report, as we all are. I think you will recognize that the entire period that the report covered preceded our administration. Even still, I have tasked our entire team with looking at lessons learned learn. We recognize that some things have to be done differently so that we are getting the best value and delivering high quality buildings. We're not backing away from investing in green building in our schools or any other public facilities, but we do have to do it in a more cost effective way. So I have asked Chris to stay focused on how and what needs to change in the organization and how the organization does business. I will say that already in the just over 6 months that we've been in office, that we've been able to look at many of those processes and certainly make some changes in the senior staff. And I've tasked all of them with looking at how we do work differently. So I will look forward to any recommendations that Chris has after he has some time to do a top to bottom review of the processes, and we'll put those in place.
The Admiral respond?
Absolutely.
My basic question and concern is, you spent your entire career, professional career, in the Navy, something like 36 years, and then shortly in the private sector. Working in a municipal government such as the District of Columbia is a very different animal, especially on the personnel side. How would you say you're prepared to do that?
Well, I certainly do not want to argue your point there directly, but I would say this. At one point I was responsible for about 70 bases for the Navy worldwide. A naval base is very much like a city with a fence around it. There are schools, there are child development centers, there are buildings and structures, as well as air runways and piers and things like that. I believe that I've been able to work with people and had the pleasure of working with people in the Navy and now certainly in the city who have extraordinary experience and ability. And amongst us all, and as the mayor said, we'll have an opportunity to look at processes for root causes and for changes and to address those. I think I'm up to the job, but I appreciate that question.
Are there any other questions? Yes, sir.
Yeah, Chris Hancarlo with WNEW. Here we are on a brand new stretch of O Street. This is only one block. Can you explain the importance of this to the entire region just from an infrastructure standpoint? You know, the fact that water is going to be cleaner because of this street.
No, absolutely. For us, in a lot of ways, we are able in our city to demonstrate how things can work on a larger scale. And we see this as a project that is scalable. It is one street. It allows us a very good thing to reopen this street. And we have a huge example, 33 different rain gardens along this street and what it means. And the numbers that I refer to are also very big numbers in an area of the city where we have to better manage a stormwater. I'm going to ask Tommy to add to that answer with any regional implication.
Thank you, Mayor. As you probably know, that we are retrofitting. We have to retrofit a huge amount of our city under something that I won't go too far into called the MS4 permit. We have to capture stormwater not just here but across the whole city, and in partnership with DC Water, where they'll be putting about $100 million above ground green infrastructure. We're doing the same out of the combined sewer overflow area in the areas that are not combined sewer overflow, about 3/4 of the city. This is the example of what we have to do to capture stormwater here so it does not go into the river. And we have to retrofit the city, and that's why this is so important.
Are there any other questions? Yes.
Can you tell us if the Admiral is a current resident of the District of Columbia, and if not, when he will be moving into the district, and what will his salary be?
Admiral, what neighborhood do you live in? 7th and East Southeast. And Kevin can talk about salary.
The Admiral's salary would be about $215,000. It's 215.
Why is there not
$215,000.
Is there a bonus or a signing bonus or anything?
No.
Okay, any general questions? Thank you, everybody, and we're happy to walk through with our staff and take a look at the rain gardens. I'm sorry. Oh, we're going to cut a ribbon. Oh, yes.
Stay there, please. Hey, guys, stay there.
Latif. Yeah, it's better. Yes, sir.
Are there DNC commissioners who would like to join? Community members? No? Okay, maybe next week. Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Yay!
Before they go into